All right, we are live. This is Transparency and Merit, and we're also on Twitter, which is all my Twitter page, which I also have Transparency and Merit. Walk Against the Woke, which is Walk Woke.
Sometimes we do a show called Stoic Calm. I enjoy those.
Yeah. And then we also have Mr. Midnight Movie, which gets the least amount of listens, or at least I don't know what it is, but that. Yeah.
Check out the website sometime. Our Mr. Midnight Movie website. It's just a blog. That is one of our best uses of data transfer ever. We get so much traffic on that.
Yeah. So Joey.
Yeah.
Do people like? I think kids are easier to change, but like a person that's over the age of 25, that's in his 30s, that's in a rut, and hasn't done much with his life. What possibility does he have to change his life, or is he just stuck eating M&Ms and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for the rest of his life, ready to go on dialysis and to an early grave? What advice would you give to, if you're a motivational coach, to a guy who's obese and just living to eat,
goals? Just make goals. The minute you stop dreaming and making goals and setting a bar, you fall into a land of mediocrity, idiocracy, all the above. What people need to do is what I focus on is goals, and that's, to me, those are tangible and they're quantifiable. They're qualitative. You can talk about them. You can analyze them through data sets. They're evidence-based techniques for reaching goals. It's not about sitting around a campfire and passing the joint around. I'm talking about if we're talking about real change, then I would say strict adherence to goals and the such. And that's just my experience. That's where I've seen help. Otherwise, when it comes to helping and trying to help or trying to push, and if somebody's not fully vested in their goals and achieving higher levels of performance and lifestyle modification, if you will, if it's so hard to get those people, they're out there, they do exist, and sadly, a lot of the I would say there's a socioeconomic border that also exists. It seems that people with more resources usually also come equipped with more refined goals and things to accomplish. So, you got to fight the elements no matter where you're at. Otherwise, they say no good deed goes unpunished, right? I've heard that. I felt that a million times too. So, probably best to work on oneself rather than to try to make change in other people. As a coach, I don't really worry about change so much. That's like if who I'm working with is vested in it, you can feel it right away, and you get the results no matter what. And if somebody is totally checked out or being forced to it or mandated to do it, as I've worked with before too, court mandated, you're going to see very little results.
I remember I had a book, and I don't know where I got the book from. I think it was from a place called the Living Loving Center. And it was it was a book that could have been written for like maybe an 8 or 9 year old, and then even adults. but the book was about happiness and how to be truly happy. And the book, basically, it said that the past is dead and the future is imaginary, and dwelling on either is not productive. You make plans, but other than that, because I make, the one thing, Joey, is I make all these plans that I'm going to do for tomorrow. And then, if I'm off, particularly if I'm off, I know that I'm going to be captured by the blankets and the covers. I should speak in the third person. This guy I know is going to be captured by the blanket and covers. What do you say?
That's simple. That's simple. I mean, you're giving a lot of energy towards something throughout the week.
Yeah.
And it's really designed in a way so when the weekend comes, whenever your weekend is, if it's during the week, it doesn't matter what days it falls on. If your weekend comes and you've just been weakened, you're for a week straight, yeah, you're not going to get anything. It takes a lot of decompression. It takes a lot of commitment to yourself. And when you're giving that to a job, a job, read the book of Job. You'll get so much out of that. I'm not a religious person at all, but I've gotten so much out of certain stories from the big book. But I'll tell you right now, the book of Job explains a lot of that. Like, why is it that you can't accomplish your personal goals when you've already been fished out for the last, so many hours of your life? Anyways, so take a look at that, and that's where I always start. And if I'm not saying don't go for the paycheck, the paychecks are great. The steadiness of that is incredible, but so is reliance on oneself. The government's really made a lot of jobs so that they are more of a lifestyle than they are, just the typical like check in and check out. Also, so and that does have an impact on what you want to achieve in your actual life. I'm a mess when I'm fully stocked up, loaded on a full-time job. Those my whole life my personal life gets jammed up. My car will need an oil change. My license will need to be renewed. My desk, my office at home is a mess. My dogs need to be walked. All these things, are very difficult to get to at the end of a work week.
Yeah, and again, and the thing is, I do a lot of time wasting, and I am in this on Twitter. I go through a lot of dark holes, and I for whatever reason am in a battle against what I see as wokeness.
Mm-hmm.
And the kind of behavior that is exhibited from certain political groups. And I think I'm not doing it. I believe that they're wrong, but I believe the way that I am resisting is not good either. And that is a problem. And I'm not constructive with my time, and I'm not constructed with I'm not constructed with my time or with my thoughts. Like I'm really bubbling up here. I think
So at work though, you don't you don't suffer from this sort of thinking, right? You get your job done,
Oh yeah.
and
No, my work is my work.
yeah. So, well, your work may be more than just your work, is what I'm saying. So, yeah, just have to consider these things. Um, right now is an interesting time too because there are people right now making a boatload of money.
Yeah.
The corporate world is really hooking it up, but it's you know, you're giving. What are you giving up? What is the cost?
Well, the cost is like I could, my blood, my discipline and
Yeah,
my own sense of what is right.
yeah, often is the case. Welcome if you're out there listening. We have a few people listening. It's
Yeah.
good. Definitely need some more commentary.
Oh, of
Do
course. So,
people do it? Do people disagree with you, Brian? Is that what you're saying? That you go on Twitter and people just like are like
actually, most people don't disagree. I mean, like there are very few people that disagree. I mean, like most of the people on Twitter, um, uh, because Twitter has become since Elon has taken over, most people agree with me, and certain groups, don't engage with one another. You know.
uh, okay. So where's the problem? Is it YouTube?
Well, no, but no, I mean, like they're there,
Oh,
but they're not numerous.
okay.
But I still spend too much time on people who are just ignorant.
There's nothing like a good old conversation with someone who's ignorant. You could spend
Yeah,
3 hours of your life trying to make a point, and then you come to realize that this person really is as dumb as I thought they were 3 hours ago.
yeah. But sometimes I have an urge to give them a piece of my mind and just
Yeah, we're a very versatile and multi-talented, uh, platinum award-winning artists here,
yeah,
High Ridge Estates. So you might see tweets, you might see Facebook posts. Who knows? You might hear somebody out there disagreeing with Brian, which I find incredibly amusing, and I hope they're out there. I hope there's some people that can actually articulate, put together a sentence or two, and tell you why it is they disagree with you or agree with you. I'd like to see it.
well, like I said, I've developed a chip on my shoulder.
Ooh,
It's probably not healthy, but I since 2020 in certain behaviors, it's it and the more I I hear about like post pandemic and post Floyd, I've developed an anger, and Twitter is kind of an outlet for me to express my outrage and my resistance to certain people whom I think are very toxic, are enablers of toxic behavior, toxic and abusive behavior. And I observed an establishment that I feel and that I observe is very abusive. One of the reasons I started my Twitter following, Walk Against the Woke, is I see these people as abusers who are covert abusers who basically pretend that they are being abused. They're being abusive under the guise of being the abused. So they're only lashing out because they've been abused. So they're lashing out against the innocent. And 2020, I observed a lot of innocent people being harmed, and just a great deal of abuse of people who were, in my opinion, culturally captured. And culturally captured is a phrase by Peter, I think it's Boghossian, who was a professor at Portland College. And he said a lot of, there are people out there that are culturally captured that are in charge. And there are those who follow the culturally captured. And again, you were there, wearing a mask and also getting the Fauci ouchie. So many of us are under the control of things. I never thought anything like this would ever happen, and things would get this bad, but it has. And these people rule on fear, and I think enough of that. Human beings should be able to express themselves, and if they're wrong, the other person should be able to express themselves and explain why without being hyper aggressive. Did what I say to you resonate or make any sense to you, Joey? Joey is not listening. I mean,
is anybody hearing that? I'm not sure. I got it, but I'm not sure Scott understood what you were saying.
Well, the thing about Scott is he works like I think he works at a kind of a Bates Motel.
Yes.
And when he's not looking in at the disheveled women taking a shower, he's disposing of fecal matter. So I don't know if he can, between his job of cleaning out toilets
and peeping
Tomming,
yeah,
that he can actually be effective at listening to some of the gems that I'm throwing out.
Yes, I don't think he is an active listener. I believe he is more or less into cleaning the feces and maybe even taking some samples home with him. Who knows?
You know what? You know what? To be honest with you, Scotty Poo is not the only person that is not an active listener. Joey, I am not an active listener myself.
No, you are not.
I am a bloviating.
You are an active ignorer.
Yes. Yes, I am.
You're an active shunner, is what you are.
I am I'm an active bloviator, and I've been kicked off of a few discords for people saying that I have no discipline whatsoever. And there was a vote to kick me off, and I got kicked off. It really angered me, though. I thought still think to a degree that I'm unfairly treated. And because of my views, I am punished for the views that I hold, even though I think that I am absolutely correct in my.
Everyone could stand to be a better listener. I focus so much on that for work for so long that when I shifted gears, work wise, the last thing I wanted to do is listen to anything. I just wanted to listen to maybe the voices in my head, and that's it.
Joey, do you see that somebody loves me?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, the thing of it is, I'm here to say, like, how much can I change?
Yeah.
And I've changed with regards to dietary things. I used to drink 2 liters of
When
diet
I met
soda a
you,
day.
when I met you, there were 2 liter bottles laying around. Like there were so many two
Yes.
liter bottles laying around in your house. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I had, like, at my office, I had an office job where I would have uh, a 2 liter bottle of Diet 7 Up.
Right.
And my boss said, "That's enough. You can't bring that stuff into the office." And I'm like, "I need it for a sippy poo." I said, you can take a can, but you got a whole 2 liter bottle of soda, and it's like, and this stuff isn't good for you. I mean, the diet soda, and then would just like, and then I'd be craving sugar as well. It's such a fake, that diet, the whole diet soda craze. But
So
I
what a disturbing side rail to get people trick them into wanting to eat fake sugar. Who the hell? Uh, Never mind.
You know what? It's a $1 billion industry, and
Saccharin was probably one of the first, right?
yeah.
Saccharin. There was probably
All,
some other
all
other.
I know is when I became diabetic, I said, "Well, I guess I got to change the diet soda," and then I became a diet soda fiend, and I
Yes.
stopped. That's the one thing of discipline that I do have. Other things I don't have discipline. I mean, and I also stopped eating French fries. Like I used to have a cheeseburger and fries, and probably double fry. Like I loved a, a big basket of fries, well done, and just
I would see fries as being so bad. Um, I would say the fats from certain meats, just meat in general, to me is it's such an awful industry. It really ruins the whole thing. Like good fresh meat is so bomb, and it's probably I've had some of my best meals when had a lot of meat in it, but yeah, I just go to the market and it's just disturbing. I just can't do it. It's tough. I do it, but I can't. I'm very reluctant, and I'd rather not. I'd rather just not eat it at all until we can get our whole like agriculture and how we are distributed foods like that. Um, yeah, I'm not happy with what we get, but I think a lot of people are waking up to that already.
I'm gonna make attempts to eat less, and
Hmm.
just before I eat, I'm gonna maybe write a little bit and maybe walk around before I scarf it down, and just use my
Good
appetite
idea.
to my advantage, and strive to work a little harder each day, inch by inch, foot by foot. Joey, do you have anything to add before we?
I do remember when I was a pretty young guy, teenager.
Yes.
Um, I used to go over to a friend's house all the time. His parents would make some food for us, and I would turn into a little bit of a monster and start just start grabbing and eating it. And I remember my friend's dad talking to me one day, and he said, JP, if you chew your food and and the longer it takes for you to take your bite, chew it, and swallow it, the longer it takes, the less food you'll consume.
So chewing.
And
Yeah.
yeah, so chewing slower and yeah, the whole thing. I don't know if that's true or not. It's really hard sometimes when you get something really tasty, like a big double cheese, like
Oh yes.
steaming pizza, just staring at you in the face, and all you want to do is just shove it down your gullet. You just,
Yes.
but yeah, that's. I remember though trying to practice that, and it really works. It's just you got to have the patience. You got to. anyways, all right, I'm done with that topic. Let's
All right.
move on or end it or whatever. Scott's got to change his diapers. Let's go.
All right, Scott, take a bag of meth and then kidding. You know something? I'll say this. Yeah, I'm going to try to meditate a little bit. Maybe if I'm angry, I have some tiny little weights in here. And I'll just start to work out a little bit and see if I can really be the stoic person that I want to be. Maybe I'll always be the ball of anger that when he hears the BS, he's ready to explode like a volcano. Joey, any last thoughts before I end this show?
Yes. So make sure you listen to Scott and his little boyfriend who do a podcast. I think it's called Beaver and Butt Nuggets. But come back again. Make sure you like and subscribe to Transparency and Merit right here. Just like and subscribe, and that's it. I don't have anything else to add.
Let me just say that Scotty Poo should do the show while he eats a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. All right, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Thank you so much. Those 17 people that are just maybe, I don't know if they're actually listening, but if you are, I thank you so much. And I hope if you have any struggles that you're able to overcome them, unlike Scott, who is still sniffing doo-doo. Thank you.